Hi everyone, this is Carmen, and I want to present you guys with my personal artifact that gives you a little bit of insight of who Carmen is through the view of my favorite, or I should say one of my favorites, Fruita prints. And I hang them in my all my walls, different Frida and different just colorful art in general. You can see in the background lots of color um, and different patterns. And Frida, I chose her as my lifetime muse mainly because she's strong and vibrant and resilient, and she has very, or had, um, just this creative aura and vibe about her that helps me to channel that to create, or I should say, reconstruct my own self image. And so let's get into the presentation. Who I am through the colors. As you can see, it's very messy and very bright. And there's a lot going on, and you can't really pinpoint where it starts and where it ends, but it just all blends together to make this one beautiful piece. And I attribute that to like my life. I had a very traumatic past, um, and including like abuse and a very bad car accident where it affects my short-term memory, and so I can't remember a lot of things. And so a lot of times my memories of my life look like that, jumbled and all messy, but I've been, like I said, picking up the pieces and reconstructing my vision of myself and my life and making it into something beautiful. And then you can see in the middle is the black and white Frida self. And this is me. I took this as a perspective or introspective view of myself, where I'm separating myself from my past and knowing that I'm an individual, and that even though the back can highlight who I am, it does not define who I am or what I can do or be. And then it also has just the contrast of like the duality of like how we see ourselves as opposed to how others see us. And so like in the picture, you're just like, oh, you see it all as a whole, and that's how outside perception is. But yourself, like, you see it individual, and you can compartmentalize all of the things that happen. And that's what I have basically done, in trying to separate myself from what I had been through. And then myself, in the details, I picked out two very important details from this picture. The first one is the rope necklace around her neck. I love that. Like, I think it's a staple in my culture. Like, the rope stands for strength and like a lot of skill, especially in trades and artistry, like in lots of careers. But for me, that represent, especially with it being a necklace rope around her neck, that I attributed to it symbolizing how I saw my voice, that it was constricted. And I didn't feel before that I had a voice or that it mattered. And that has over time shifted. And obviously, I know I have a great voice that I have put to great use to not only recreate my life, but also to support other women who have been through similar situations. And then the second detail is in the earrings, and I thought it was really important to note that they're different. Like, there's a different side or view to the earrings, even though they have similar texture. They physically look different. One is full and very dense, and the other one is very thin and narrow. And so I see this as a duality of seeing like two sides of me, of myself, basically, of like what I choose to show to the world and what I keep hidden inside of myself, mainly because of my past, that I have learned to be very observant and quiet. But that does not mean that I'm not extroverted and know how to carry myself in a conversation, because that is definitely not the case. And then one of the other, or the last two details of the portrait are the white border. This is very important to me. I see that as a border of protection against my personal space. I have learned to put up boundaries, and it's something that in my culture isn't very well taught, and it's something that I had to learn, you could say, the hard way. And as an adult, as opposed to, growing up with it. And I just have this barrier of protection over my space, over my home, my work, my friends, my family, because I want to protect that energy that I have around me. Because, that saying where like you are the top five people that are around you, and you can see who you are. And I guard that very carefully, because I want to be intentional with every moment of my life. And then the last part is the blue clip. And around my house, I have a bazillion of these clips, and they're all in different colors. And on this one specifically, especially since it was on the top, I just personally connected to a spiritual connection that keeps me grounded and reminds me that even though all of this is in place, that all of things happen in life, and we just don't know where it's going to start or end, that it all works out for something great in the end. And so to end, I just want to remind you guys that Frida Cowell is my lifetime muse, and it has really helped me to be reflective of her life in comparison to my life, and that as a reminder that we can pick up the pieces of a broken past and make it into a beautiful masterpiece. And so I hope that you guys learned a little bit more about me, and that you can appreciate Frida art as much as I do.